I'm going to show you how to make bird feeders to feed the wild birds in your garden. These attract all kinds of birds, but especially robins and bluetits. Here's what you'll need to make them. You'll need a slice of wood, a twig, some walnuts, or acorn cups or conkers, a beech nut, a pebble, and some string, and a drill. First thing to do is make the little cups that are going to hold the birdseed, and I'm making these from walnut halves. I'm opening these using a knife rather than a nutcracker so that I can try and separate the two halves evenly. If you wiggle the knife into the flatter end, you should be able to open the nut and eat the walnuts. They're very good for you. Pick out the bits from the inside, and the nuts are ready to drill. Next, drill a hole through the walnut. Press quite lightly so the walnut shell doesn't split. To drill the wood slice, I'll start by drilling out 4 holes in the shape of a cross, and then I'll fill in the gaps in between each hole with another one to make a total of 8 around the outside. To finish it off, I'll drill 1 more hole in the middle. Now I'm going to use the empty beech nut shell, and this isn't essential, but it is quite pretty when you add it onto the bird table. These are really soft to drill, so you don't need to press too hard. It's not always easy to get really central on a beech nut, but that's okay. Slightly off centre's fine, and the birds really don't mind. And then you're ready to assemble. So I'm going to start by making the stone weight, and this will make sure that the little birds don't fall off the bird feeder. This one is about the weight of a small bluetit. Wrap up the stone with a piece of string about 60 centimetres long and wrap it up like a present, crossing over at the bottom and then securing it with a knot. Then take the 2 ends of the piece of string and pass them through the centre of the wooden disc. Leave about 7 or 8 centimetres of string and secure with a knot. Then you can cut off the excess string. To assemble the rest of the bird feeder, take your longer piece of string. This one's about 170 centimetres long, and I've wrapped a small bit of masking tape around each end so that they're a little bit stiffer and easier to thread through the holes. Holding both ends together, push them through one of the holes. Don't pull it all the way through. You want to leave a small loop at the end, and this is where we're going to pass our stick through. Look for the hole directly below the one you've just made the loop in and pass both ends of the string through that hole. Take your stick, pass it through the stone loop and through the loop at the top. Try and get it so the middle of the stick is fairly central to the disc, and then taking your 2 longer ends, tighten up that loop by giving them a little tug, and then secure with a simple knot. Take one end of your string and thread it through the hole closest to the bottom of the stick and pull it tight. And then do the same with the other end. It should now look a bit like this. Take one of the walnut shells and threading it through the bottom of the walnut, push the walnut all the way down to meet the disc. Do the same on the other side with another shell. And you don't have to use walnut shells here. I've used conkers, hollowed out, and acorn cups as well. Take each end of the string and thread it back through the hole next to the one you've just threaded the walnut on. But don't pull it all the way down and make it tight, because these loops are going to be what you use to hang the bird feeder. Leave them flapping about like little ears. I've left about 10 centimetres. Then taking both ends back through the next hole, you're ready to thread on the next walnut. Add another half of the walnut shell to either side. And that's your 4 feeding stations finished. Hold the tops of the loops together with the remaining string so that they're all about equal length, and pass the string under the loops a couple of times before passing the ends back through the loop you've made. And this is just enough to hold everything in place. Pull that knot tight and check that you've made everything about the right length. To finish off, thread both those ends through your beech nut or acorn cup cap. That will hide the knot, and that's about the only purpose it serves. And there's your finished bird feeder. I'm giving the birds a full banquet here, so they've got sunflower seeds in one, some suet, some lovely tasty worms, and some peanuts. Then hang your bird feeder in the tree and wait for them to arrive. You'll soon find out what they like to eat best. Keeping your bird feeders well topped up throughout the winter will give them a little bit of extra energy when they need it. And if you don't have any nutshells, skip the threading of the walnuts altogether and you'll be left with a little tent and a platform, and you can just put the seed directly onto the platform. It will spill off a lot more easily, but the blackbirds and other ground feeders will probably appreciate that. I hope you enjoy making these as much as I do, and I hope your birds enjoy eating all the tasty treats you give them over the winter.